Ballers International, we highlight ballers all over the world. I'm here with flag football team of Israel, the Barefoot athlete. Welcome to Finland.
Thank you so much. This is my second time here, and it's just a beautiful experience so far.
Welcome back then.
Thank you. Yeah, seeing all. I mean, I was here in winter when it was minus 32 degrees Celsius, so a little bit on the wintry cold side, but it's so good to be here with all the athletes and seeing all the good, positive energy everyone's bringing.
One thing that's unique about the Israel football team, flag football team, is that you guys brought a strength and conditioning coach, which is you, the Barefoot guy, and you also had a massage therapist as well.
So as flag football has grown within Israel, obviously, budgets increase and the investment we want to put in our players to make them be able to compete at the highest level has improved. So we brought massage therapist, physio, and the strength and conditioning coach. Obviously, my role here, we're in the regular season preparing as the strength, the gym sessions, the field sessions, trying to make them faster, jumping higher, building a strong body all the way from the feet up. And here it's more about maintenance. So good prep before the game, good cool down after games, intra-game recovery, hydration, nutrition, just trying to optimize our athletes all the way.
I want to get straight to the point. I want to get straight to
Here
the
by
feet.
the feet.
Like,
So I was a tackle
yeah.
football player many years ago, like most of us here, and my feet kept getting hurt. I was eating right, I was training right, and I didn't understand why I kept getting injured. So I looked at my feet, and you notice I'm wearing these like nice barefoot sandals right now.
hmm
My feet were completely smushed from cleats.
Yeah.
Then I realized that there's actually a powerful performance hack that has severely reduced the amount of injuries and ankle sprains within my teams. That if you train your feet and build strong, resilient feet, you're likely to get injured, especially in the ankle foot area gets lower. So the way we incorporate that with the teams is for the first part of the warm up, we warm up barefoot and just really work on developing strong feet both in the gym and the field. And then when needed, we put our cleats on. And the amount of soft tissue injuries has really gone down in the past few years thanks to this methodology.
Yeah, walk me through that. So you guys warm up the whole time barefoot, and if you only need to put on cleats or shoes, you put them on.
So you have to understand that in the performance world, we want to always practice what we play in. So
Yeah.
if I only train them barefoot, which could be ideal from the performance enhancing benefits of strong feet and injury reduction, I would never get them used to playing in cleats on the grass or the turf.
Yeah.
So what I do is the ground based mobility we do, which is like the prep for the prep and the activations we do it barefoot. And the moment we start doing things like change direction or jumps, that you really need to dig your feet into the turf, we transition to cleats. My dream one day is that there'll be cleats that don't hurt your feet as much. Because the amount of, if you look around at the athletes' feet wearing slides, so many people have callous, gnarly, bruised feet. And if we can not have that, it would just be a nicer tournament for everybody and less foot pain going around.
So if I use your method, being barefoot in my warm ups and doing more barefoot activities, what would that improve for me?
So there's passive foot training, which is just training barefoot, which your arch strength will increase. Your big toe mobility will increase as well, which is just training in the gym barefoot. So all you have to do is take your shoes off, train in the gym barefoot. Then there's active foot training, which is obviously physically flexing the foot, the toes, working on your toe separation, and then improving your ankle mobility. And there's actually been studies that have proven that the injury risk of ankle-related injuries, ankle sprains, are one of the most common injuries
Ah,
that flag football deals with. Significantly goes down by having strong feet. So you guys should try it.
you're selling it a little bit to me because I'm still a current athlete.
Yeah. What do you
But
play?
I play here in Finland.
Amazing.
I'm
Amazing.
mainly a receiver. I can play DB
Sweet.
and emergency quarterback.
So it's actually becoming more and more common. Back when I was preaching it, like 5, 6 years ago, there's very little people talking about it, and I was like the hippie weirdo. But now, if you look at big dudes like Squat University, Pierce Lee Performance, the Barefoot Sprinter, these guys, big pioneers of strength and conditioning and performance, who are preaching the benefits of training barefoot. But like everything, it has to be taken with a grain of salt. So if I'm not training right and I'm not eating right, perhaps barefoot training is just the cream of the crop, the cherry on top. But for me, if everyone we're doing everything right anyways, I may as well add the element by removing the things that's damaging my feet in the first place, which for most people it's cleats,
Yeah.
and then adding elements of training specifically for the foot, and especially in between games, giving foot recovery. Like we all ice bath and we all do all the mobility, but what about recovering the thing that's taking the most load, the first thing that touches the ground?
What about knee pain? Does it have any
So
correlation with that?
absolutely. So there's actually been studies as well that most shoes, especially when they have a narrow toe box, they're limiting the knee and hip mobility. So the moment I'm able to splay my toe properly, it's called the tripod foot. I can plant my big toe, pinky toe, and heel on the ground.
Yeah.
Or in something like a zero drop shoe that has no elevated heel, this can apply to a sneaker as well. I'm able to create more stability from the ground up, which can go from the arch and then lead all the way upstream to my knee and hip and affect the way I move.
Okay. Is there a shoe that you recommend for us to use?
So
Or
there's many common minimalist shoe brands out there. You might have heard Vivo Barefoot is one of the leading brands out there. Zero shoes, that's Xero, is quite common in the United States. In the past 5 years, about 150 brands popped up, which has made it like a little bit trendy. The way I look at it is minimalist shoes, like anything, is a tool. It's a tool that can help you transition to barefoot and help you build stronger feet, but it's not a replacement for foot training. It's not a
Yeah.
replacement for building a strong, resilient body.
Okay. What is something that you want to tell more about the benefits of the feet?
So the way I see it is that why I like about it and why I chose that niche of the barefoot athlete is because there's not so many things that are a passive high. Like if I want to get stronger, I have to train in the gym and I have to train in the field. If I want to lose weight or build strength or build muscle, I have to eat better. Barefoot is just about taking your shoes off.
Yeah.
So it's something I'm doing anyways. I'm wearing my shoes and I can just replace them for something perhaps that's a little bit more beneficial for me. That's how I see it, and that's why I give a very, very big focus on it with my athletes. And
Okay.
I've seen the results. I've seen how they're like. Thank God in this tournament, no one got hurt,
Yeah.
and that's a big win for the whole medical and support staff. If no one got hurt,
Yeah.
that's a good tournament.
So you're gonna say because they wore
No,
they wore that barefoot?
I can't prove that scientifically.
Okay.
In the scientific world,
There got to be some type of correlation. I see people
in the
get injured.
scientific world, there's validity and reliability. Validity is like it's been proven. Reliable is my personal. I see that it works. I just have noticed that the amount of ankle sprains has been reduced with my team. It's not a case study, but it's my personal observation. The moment I started giving enough attention to the feet, and I noticed it not just with my football players I work with, but as a coach, I work with athletes around the world, like virtual training. And I also, me and my wife run a Barefoot review blog together, and we're promoting natural footwear, minimalist footwear, and strong feet for all types of performance runners, hikers, and we just see how people are changing their life. Because the moment you start examining not just the food you eat and the sleep you get or the training you do, but rather the things you wear, it starts changing your perspective towards life as whole, and you tend to spend more time outdoors, get more sunshine, get more fresh air, and you overall become a. It sounds weird, but it's the entrance to becoming like a more holistic, connected human being.
Okay. And lastly, since we here at a flag football championship, from a training perspective, what makes a good flag football team?
So it's funny you asked that because in our country, in Israel, we were trying to do studies on what is the ideal profile of a flag football player. Because the NFL, American football tackle, has brought so many studies. Like an ideal tackle football player squats, I don't know, 150 kilo. I'm just throwing that number out. But there's never really been much studies on flags. So my thoughts are, as we get closer and closer to the Olympics, perhaps people will start releasing studies. So in general, you have to look at the sports analysis
Mm-hmm.
and what it is. So we have a bunch of repeated sprints. We have a vertical ability, like the guy who's going to jump higher. But most of all, I think, especially after this tournament and seeing game after game after game of the highest level athletes in the world, really the ability to de-accelerate. And if you think about from a mechanical perspective what the acceleration is, it's not just a technique. It's the ability to load on your muscles a very, very high load. Because as some of you may know, when there's gravity on the body or any external force, it's putting 200 to 300% more load in the muscles. And the more stronger I am, the more load I can put on myself. So I would say for all those athletes out there, continue building a base of strength. Super important. Like nothing will beat a good base of strength. And after that, focus on acceleration and the ability to hold that for days. We just had a 4 or 5 day tournament.
Mm-hmm.
So the ability not just to sprint on day one, but the sprint in the game semifinal championship game to keep up that top speed and that acceleration.
It was great talking to you. It was great to meet you.
Thank you so much. I'm looking forward. Yeah, good stuff.